Good morning. This is Pat Cavanaugh. I'm coming to you high on top of the news building on Millsfield Avenue in our penthouse suite. And I want to talk to you about a couple things this week. Hope you've had a good week. It certainly has been rainy and stormy, except for Monday, when it was like a touch of spring, which was really nice. I actually have been seeing this one man build this big boat. I hope that doesn't mean anything, but it seems to be getting bigger every day, so we'll just have to hope that the rain stops pretty soon. I want to talk about a couple things today. First of all, the state of Georgia was to electrocute, put to death, its first woman, I guess, in I don't know how many years. And first she was scheduled last week, and through the storms and all, it got canceled. And then she was supposed to last night, and then they were concerned about the solution, and they've sent that off. You know, we've talked about this before. We don't have a problem at all with somebody being executed for murdering or killing somebody else, but we do have a problem with not having fast and immediate action after the court case is over and a reasonable amount of time is done for appeal. This woman has been on death row since, I believe, 1992. I mean, this is just pure inhumane. And if you're going to execute somebody for killing somebody or for whatever reason and it's justified, then let's make justice swift. I mean, that's only fair, and it's fair to the families involved on both sides, including the person that committed the crime. The other thing, too, that's really bothered us recently is the rash of people being killed, being hurt, when they go to pursue a deal on Craigslist or some of these other online advertising mediums. You know, it's really kind of sad that this is happening, and we appreciate the fact that the Sheriff's Department has, in fact, offered a place for you to go. The Sheriff's has 3 places at the main headquarters on 911 Chambers Drive that are open 24 hours daily. The Rockdale County Jail on Sigmund Industrial Court is open 24 hours daily. And then the Southside Precinct on Highway 20 is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. So we would suggest for safety that you use one of these things to make your deal. We ran across a young man this past week, that a young salesman, as we were purchasing something in one of the local shopping areas, and he told us that when he was shopping in one of those areas, that 2 men followed him home to his house. He said he lived up behind Heritage High School, really nice communities. And, you know, when he got home, you know, they broke into his home, robbed everything that he had and his mother had, and luckily he didn't get hurt or killed. I mean, we're in a bad type of society now. Be alert, watch people, look in your rearview mirror, see if the same car follows you every place you go. Go another route home. Just be safe and be careful about that. It's just so rampant and contagious now, the meanness of people, and you just need to protect yourself and always go in pairs when you can, and look out for each other. The last thing I want to talk about today, last week I went to a Rotary meeting, the Conyers Rotary, and there was a speaker, 2 weeks ago, there was a speaker from Georgia Power talking about economic development. And at the end of the meeting, Chairman Oden asked the gentleman a question, and it was a good question, and I believe an honest question. And he said, do local community newspapers have a responsibility to run the good news about the community? Pretty much like that. And I want to say to Chairman Oden, the answer to that question is yes, of course. But also it's the responsibility of the local community newspaper to record the good and the bad in the community. And unfortunately, the bad comes through, and it's not ever, that I know of, the intention of a community newspaper that I've ever known, or I know anybody that's ever run one, whose main objective is to produce the bad news of a community. And the problem nowadays with some politicians who think that is because they don't feel that they should be challenged. They don't feel that the public should have the right to know what they're doing and how they're running any part of the government that they're responsible for. And, you know, I talked to Chairman Oden, and we like Chairman Oden. I don't have a personal thing on Chairman Oden, and we get along pretty well, but he told me that he doesn't read newspapers anymore. What a shame, Chairman. I mean, what a shame. You know, when a community ever loses its newspaper, then it loses its heart and soul. And if folks like yourself and other leaders in this community don't support their community newspaper, then shame on them. Because, you know, a newspaper has a heart and a soul. The person that runs it can be replaced anytime. But a newspaper needs to be supported and encouraged, because without that type of lifeblood in our community, then the community does not exist. Trust me, I've seen communities go by the wayside without a local community newspaper. So yes, does a community newspaper have a responsibility to do good news and report the good things that happen in the community? It sure does. And if it doesn't, then you need to replace its leader. So that's our thoughts today. If you want to make any comments to what I've had to say today, if you'll just look right here to my side, you'll see a place where you can type in your comments for everybody else to see. If you'd like to come down to our offices and make some comments on air just like this, we're glad to have you come do it. So have a good week. I'll see you next week.